Hello! Community Balance Patch, Patch 5. Just arrived like 1 week ago, and since it seems like everyone's doing this, or like two people, I guess. One person did like an hour and a half, other one did like 10 minutes. I'm guessing mine will take at least like 20 or 30 minutes. Uh, we're gonna do it too, because why the fuck not? I'm bored. So, just a forewarning. My opinions might differ from yours, so please do not get offended. And if you do get offended, then I suggest you leave, because it's my opinion. I'm not gonna change it. Feel free to debate, but don't be mad about it. Let's be cool about this. Alright, let's go straight into it. So, list of all things that are changed. Alright, let's start with movement parts. Alright, so wheels got a change in, they got a bunch of agility, quote unquote, nerfs, but let's keep it simple. Everyone probably explained this, but this was because of a turning issue, where the turning was way too sensitive because agility was way too high, so this is rather a buff. I don't use any cars, so I don't know how much this changed, honestly, but I guess we're going in the right direction for this. Alright, mech legs. Light acceleration change. It got a massive buff, 63%. It's quite a good buff, and I've tried some mechs. I don't use them, but I bought some off the factory, and I've tried them. They turn very nicely now. I think this is a good nerf. Not nerf, sorry, a good buff. Sprinter legs. Alright, so this one's also a very nice nerf. So what this did is basically nerf the sprinting jump by quite a bit. You will no longer be able to pass a certain a large amount of weight. Oh yeah, by the way, sprinting leg guide video coming soon. So just a little plug-in. Anyways, yeah, sprinting legs, they no longer jump as good as they did before. And I am amazed at this. Finally, it took only like what 3 years to make this happen. Uh, I am very happy about it. I think that sprinter legs, even if it's pure sprinter legs with hovers as backup movement, no wings, no rotors, I think that they were very underrated and that they were at a stupid powerful rate. And I'm very glad that it finally got nerfed. And the sprinter jumps don't really feel like shit. They still feel okay. So I'm happy with this change. Alright, insect legs, it also got a quote unquote nerf, but this is to mitigate the teleportation issue regarding spider legs and hybrids with hovers. I'm not sure if it really got mitigated or not, but just like wheels, I'm guessing we're going the right direction. Alright, hovers, they got a bunch of agility nerfs to help with the flipping, but they feel exactly the same, honestly. So I can't really say if this is a good or bad buff, nerf or buff, I guess. I don't really know. I don't really care. It really did absolutely nothing, and I don't think you can fix hovers because I don't know. Region's retarded, I guess. Speed boost, nerf, fucking finally. I hate this meta. I hated this meta. I fucking hated this meta. Like absolutely. It was a retarded meta where you can just spam tier 4 hovers everywhere the fuck you want and go at hypersonic speed. And I think that it was a very stupid meta that should have never existed. And I still think it's holds somewhat of a value, as in like you should still use tier 4 hovers, I think, in my opinion. But at least we're going the right direction. I personally want to nerf tier 4 hovers to 1.5% and instead of 1.8, and then scale this down all the way downwards. But at least it got a nerf. I think it's quite enough of a nerf. I want more, but we'll see. It's only been a week, so yeah. Let's see if it really holds value or not. But I'm just glad that it got nerfed eventually. Alright, rotors. My favorite movement. I'm not sure if you know this, but I am known as a copter guy. So, a bunch of nerfs to heavier copters and a bunch of buffs to light copters. Light copters feel exactly the fucking same. It got so many buffs and nothing feels different. Meanwhile, heavy copters. And note that this heavy copter is like 30,000 kilos. It's not very light, meaning that copters that are considered to be heavy, like 10,000, like 20,000 kilos, they got a buff in a sense. Because, well, not 20,000 maybe, but like 10,000. Those are like leaning heavier towards, what is it? Wait, actually, heavy copters not 30,000, my bad. It's 25,000. Yeah, 25,000. Because the new floor and ceiling here. So this is the light, this is the heavy. I think that's how it works. If it's not, I don't really care. Anyways, uh, I'm glad that we're trying to buff lighter copters and nerf heavier copters, but I personally don't think copters should be able to lift a pack of medium cubes. Maybe like a little bit mixed with TX, that's fine, but pure medium cube copters weighing over 10,000 kilos, I don't think copters should be flying around perfectly fine with that kind of weights, because otherwise there's really no reason to give ground the HP advantage of the advantage of HP. If air units can be made up of medium cubes, which are more solid than lights and compacts, I really don't think there's a reason to use ground balls like covers. So yeah, I fine with the overall change, but I wish like lighter copters like sub 6,000 kilos, no actually sub 4,000 kilos got a lot lighter, a lot more agile. Well, not a lot more, but a little bit more. But if you're gonna buff that, I wish that propellers get their spin up re-added, because I think removal of spin up was fucking retarded. Alright, brothers, new agility cap. I honestly don't give a fucking shit about this. I don't know what it did. I don't know what it changed. I don't care. I'm not gonna use it anyway. It doesn't seem broken, so I'm fine with it, I guess. Let's move on. Weapons! Alright. Anyway, wait, before I move on. Movement, overall. Pretty good. I'm not completely satisfied, but overall, I'd say movement-wise, this patch was okay. I'll give it like 7 out of 10 for movement alone. Alright, weapons. Lasers. It got a nerf. Plasma. It got a nerf. Both mega. Retarded nerfs. These did not need an energy nerf. Like, at all. I don't think this was what it should have been. It's not quite a big difference, but I don't think this should have happened in the first place. Because both of these weapons were suffering heavily from being low on energy and not having enough to kill people, and they got nerfed. I don't think this should have happened. Tier 4 Plasma is still superior to Tier 5 Plasma. It was before, it still is now. Tier 4 lasers still suck ass compared to Tier 5. Tier 5 sucks, but Tier 4 sucks more, so I guess Tier lasers are okay, but in terms of Tier 5 versus Tier 4, but still, I don't think this nerf should have happened. Yeah. Alright, Rail and Ion, they got a nerf. Fucking finally, these two nerfs should have happened 3 years ago. I am not joking. It should have happened 3 years ago when we first started these balance patches. And it finally got a nerf in 2022. Alright. So, I don't think this will remove them from the meta at all. I still think Rail Ion is the meta. But, we'll see. It's only been a week. And also, some people are saying Pure Rail might suffer, but I've used Pure Rail at 3 shots only. I've been maining Rail since Boost era, until they became, and until now, I still sort of main them, not really. I don't really play anymore, but I've mained them back in Boost era, and after that as well, and up until now, I don't think Rail deserves to be used purely and do completely fine. Because, one, it's annoying as fuck, because it's been meta for 3 years now, and two, it's a sniper, it's supposed to be a support weapon, it shouldn't be an all-rounder, that belongs to the laser role. What's happening? Alright. That belongs to laser roll. Rail should not be able to do purely and be completely fine. So I'm fine with this. And Ion, this was way too overpowered. I still think it's quite broken, but I guess it got toned down a little when the energy usage. I still wish the damage and the range would get nerfed a little more, but whatever. This part of weapons, not bad, I guess. I don't think these should have happened, but they're minor at least. Alright. Chain guns. So, alright. Before I talk about this, I'm gonna say I've actually come up with almost 90% of these changes myself. And I am satisfied. I am absolutely satisfied. So, yeah, I know a lot of people would be mad, especially about the projectile range being nerfed 55%. Well, not a lot of people. I know some people who are mad. But if you're using chain beyond short range, because chain gun, let's be real here, it's a fucking minigun. It's supposed to be a close range weapon, and at long range, it's not supposed to deal damage. If you're trying to use it at long range, you're being brainless, you're being stupid. And the fact that you got rewarded by tagging people at long range, in other words, the fact that you got rewarded for being stupid, I don't think that's a good way to. That's good game. I don't think that's good game design. Let's put it at that. So yeah, chain nerf 55% is to prevent long range tags because it's stupid. If you want to have a longer range weapon, and have tier 4 chain and tier 4 tier 5 chain, that's fine. But there's no need for chain to be able to fire long ranges perfectly fine. All right. So tier 5 chain, it got a massive buff in health. Well, not massive buff. It just got the health just got inverted back to the pre-last patch, and it finally feels like it has enough health to do something. Because 28,000, this was not enough in any way possible. It was so bad. Tier 5 chain was literal dog shit pre-patch for this patch, but and spin of time it got nerfed, but this was to compensate for the stupid amount of DPS it got. What is it? Fire rate got increased by quite a bit, 13.75%, and this I believe increased the DPS by quite some margins actually, and it's allowing chain to be quite destructive at close range. I'm not sure how it compares to Ion, but a lot of people are saying that it feels very nice. So I am going to take it that people are enjoying the new tier 5 chain, and I will remain proud of it. If it turns out to be shit later on, but then I don't know. But I think it's pretty playable, pretty viable at a casual level, and maybe even competitive if this turns out alright. So yeah, pretty nice. Oh, and energy got nerfed quite a bit, so you do need a power module, but I think that's okay. Like, for the amount of destructive power it has, I think having a power module almost necessary is okay. It's fine, I think. The DPS should be enough to kill 3 people in a row with 1 full energy bar, no power module, if said you land every single shot. So it's better to say you can kill maximum 2 people with 1 full energy bar without power module, and I think that's fairly reasonable. And tier 4 chain gun, it got an energy nerf and a projectile nerf. I think this is well deserved. Tier 4 chain was quite powerful pre-patch. It wasn't overpowered in my opinion. A lot of people were saying it was, but I don't think it was overpowered. I just think it just should have been less range, so it got that, and a little bit less sustain. The sustain was a little too insane. Like, I'm glad that we finally have a actual sustain weapon in RC, but it was a little too insane, so it got a nerf, and I'm fine with that. It still fires fairly long, so I don't think it's a bad change. Weapons overall, because of these two, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Oh, 6.5. Let's give it 6.5. Other than these two, I think overall it was a pretty good patch for weapons. Modules. Fuck this, man. Like, absolutely. I think all these module changes are horrendous. They should never happen, and that certain people should actually listen to the people. to listen to the actual community instead of doing whatever the fuck they want to. I'm not gonna name these people, but if you're involved within the community, you should know who I'm talking about. Alright, so weapon energy module is back. Basically, it's back to 75% restore per usage, and the cooldown got reduced. Cooldown reduction not needed at all. It was useless patch that's only it's a useless fix, quote unquote fix or change that's only contributing to power power creeping. I don't think this should have happened. Energy restore, 75% and 50% should never happen either. 50% was just fine. We dealt with it for the past 3 or 4 years of having only 50% recharge instead of 75%, and not a single fucking soul complained about it. Well, maybe some people compared about it, but I don't think any of the competitive players said, "Oh, I wish power module was still restored more," because 50% was more than enough. Well, not more than enough, but it was enough. I don't think power module change should have happened at all. DSM change. It got a cooldown reduction, and shield lifespan increased by 0.5 seconds. Also very unnecessary, same thing with power module. This is very minor, but I feel like it shouldn't have happened. It's very unnecessary. Cooldown reduction, same story. Blink module, it got nerfed by 2 seconds. Oh my god, this might change the meta. No, it fucking won't. It's 2 seconds. And you're saying, oh, it's 2 entire seconds. No, it's not. Before it was 25, like before the previous patch, it was 25 seconds for cooldown. It changed 1 second from there. And when it was 25 seconds, it was still meta. 26 seconds, it's not gonna do anything. Like, this is retarded. This should not have been the only nerf that Blink would have got. It should have gotten a larger cooldown nerf. It should have gotten a range nerf. And I guess that's all about all I do. Link module, it should not have been this small, the nerf. Ghost module, CPU reduction. Finally, this is good. Actually not even finally. I didn't think this was needed, but now that I think in retrospective, it was. Because, well, Ghost module, it's only used on Teslas. Like literally, I mean, unless you're a Corona user, you're a dumbass. But Ghost module, it's such a useless module. Reduction in CPU, I can deal with it. It's good. I'm fine with that. There's like delay in cloak. I don't think they really change anything, and I don't think really it was really necessary. But because it changed nothing, but it also fixed the bug where if you press ghost too fast, then only on your screen it would look like you were ghosted, and on enemy screen it will look like you're not ghosted. This patch fixed it by doing this cloak and uncloak delay. They fixed it, so good enough, I guess. Ghost module overall, nice. EMP. I fucking hate the new EMP. EMP was my favorite module since 2018 because it was so rewarding. I'm not saying that it was balanced. It definitely needed a buff, but none of these should have happened. Like, not a single one of these should have happened. Well, maybe this one, but at a less amount. The stun radius should have remained the same. Cooldown should have remained the same. The range should have remained the same. Stun duration should have only been decreased by 1 second, so it's 4.5. And what instead should have changed, instead of all of this, it should have been deployment time. It should just reduce slightly, and the EMP would have been a lot more usable, like just casual level, and even maybe competitive. None of these were necessary. It's only contributing to power creep, and ironically, EMP fucking sucks now, even though it got all these power creep changes. Thanks to this massive nerf and stun duration. Once you get EMP'd, you're stunned for 2 seconds and you can just walk away like nothing happened. And most weapons are so energy efficient now that this really doesn't mean anything. Hitting an EMP, it's just not worth it anymore. It's not rewarding at all to carry an EMP or hit an enemy. And Overall, EMP just feels like trash to use now. I do not like this new EMP. I would much rather prefer the harder to hit pre-patch EMP over whatever fuck we have now. Window Maker. You get a massive health buff and a massive cooldown buff. Cooldown buff allows it to be used infinitely because uptime is 10 seconds, cooldown is 8 seconds. I would prefer it to be a different time infinite, as in like 1 second active time, 2 second cooldown, so that you can just basically use it whenever you want instead of having to just press one button and having it be constantly active. Because I don't know, it just feels more like I just feel like that's more balanced and requires a little bit more brain to use. But I'm okay with this because Window Maker, it's such a useless module. It's so fucking useless. I'm fine with this. Health, because it's the only module that requires, not even just optional, it requires to be fully exposed in order to be used. This health buff makes sense. I'm fine with this. Modules overall, fucking retarded changes 90% of it. Ghost and Window Maker, they're fine, I guess. So, I'll give it a 2 out of 10. Maybe 1.5. Because Weapon Energy, DSM, Blink, EMP, all these are retarded changes. They should have all been different. And when the... Okay, so, about 29 people, if I recall correctly, 29 people agreed that we should avoid power creep when making these changes. However, certain people wanted power creep for some reason. And I personally think module mandating on the bot is absolutely retarded and should never happen. So, yeah. Majority of the community do not want this, or those who contribute to the balanced discussions in the least. By the way, if you want to contribute to the balanced discussions, I'll leave the link in the description below. So, yeah, do that. So, yeah. Module changes 1.5 or 2 out of 10. Alright, acknowledgements, project management, special things, blah blah blah. Alright, that's it. Community balance changes, patch 5. I really fucking hope that somehow, some way, a lot of the retarded changes of this patch would get fixed in the near future. And I'll see you all later. See ya.